In 1870, black men could vote, but there were specific planned ways to block that right across the nation. When a black male or female went to register to vote, they were surprised at receiving literary or civic questions to test their intelligence. If they failed to answer one question, they were denied. In 1965, most Alabama counties did not have a single black citizen vote for the past 50 years. It changed in late 1965 when Martin Luther King Jr. stepped up and led a march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. It took 3 confrontations, thousands of people, and even the president. These demonstrations took place in the early years of the Civil Rights Movement. The Civil Rights Movement had a goal to demolish the gap between the rights of whites and the rights of blacks. The demonstrators, or citizens, risked their lives being involved in the march. Before anything physically happened, talk about the marches spread through the county, and white segregationists attacked a group of demonstrators who were peacefully resting. When a white trooper shot and killed Jimmy Lee Jackson, a young African-American demonstrator, it caused MLK to be angry and really encouraged him to plan the march. He gathered some people and began the march with 600 on March 7th. When George Wallace, governor of Alabama and well-known segregationist, heard about the march, he sent troopers to gather at the bottom of the Edmund Pettus Bridge with whips, nightsticks, and tear gas. They attacked the marchers until they were dead or headed back to Selma. This mini-war was publicized on television and made many Americans upset. It influenced many Americans to join the march. A few days later, on March 9th, MLK led the group of demonstrators again, but turned around when he spotted troopers ahead. Eventually, the news got around to President Lyndon Johnson, and he televised his announcement of support of the marchers and MLK. This encouraged them all, and on March 21st, MLK, along with more than 2,000 demonstrators, marched once more with the protection of the U.S. Army and Alabama National Guard, ordered by President Johnson himself. While this time they made it all the way to Montgomery, the federal court order permitted only 300 demonstrators to complete the march. When they arrived, thousands of supporters met the demonstrators, and MLK spoke. A well-remembered quote from that speech was, quote, "No tide of racism can stop us," end quote. A demonstrator, Don McCarthy, sent a postcard to his family saying, quote, "An inexplicable experience truly only by seeing one can one really believe. These people are so genuine," end quote. With this accomplishment and contribution of President Johnson, Congress passed the Voting Rights Act the following August. The Voting Rights Act reduced the difference between black and white voters, granted African Americans to join politically, locally, statewide, and nationally, and executed literary tests as a requirement to register to vote. This event is still known today because it is the event that changed the rights of blacks to vote. If Martin Luther King Jr. did not have the courage or support, blacks would still be living a life far under whites. There would still be segregated waiting rooms, segregated bathrooms, and segregated drinking fountains. The Selma March is mostly known for having Martin Luther King Jr. as the leader, for the sacrifice blacks gave in order to gain equality, and for the many deaths that occurred. With not even being able to guess the outcome, thousands of black citizens risked their lives to march for 4 days and gain the right to be equal with whites. In 1869, black men could not vote, but in 1965, they gained that right by fighting back.